If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we had Mickey Gall back on the show, and big news dropped recently. He will be back in action December 7th in Washington, D.C., and standing across the octagon from him will be Carlos freaking Condit. How about that? How are you, Mickey?
Doing great, brother. Doing great.
I bet. This is huge, man. Fighting Carlos Condit, I think this announcement threw some people off a little bit, but it's a huge opportunity for you to take on a former world champion. When you got word that Condit would be the guy, how did you react to that, and when did you find out that this was a possibility?
So I texted Sean Shelby, and I was like, hey, I'd love to fight at Madison Square Garden. I figured get myself back on, fight on the East Coast again, right in right in New York, just like my backyard too. So I sent that text, and he texted me like right back and was like, I could do that, or 4 weeks later versus Condit. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That's no problem. I don't need MSG. Goodbye. I'm all right. I don't need that. Let's fight. MSG will be around again. I don't think fighting Carlos Condit will be around again. So me, I won't balk at an opportunity. So I'm gonna go in there and whoop his ass.
Coming off the win over Salim Tahari at UFC Newark, you talked about maybe running it back with Diego Sanchez. You talked about fighting Mike Perry. You were ready to fight anybody at MSG, but Diego and Perry were sort of at the top of the list of the wish list, so to speak. This is a pretty damn good consolation prize, is it not?
Absolutely. I'd say I'm happiest with this. I want to fight often. Mike's young. I can still fight Mike Perry. Once that nose gets a little better, I'll go break it off for him again. I'll go punch that thing in. And then, Diego, I got to fight him. Obviously, I was sick when we did, but, I'd be down to do it again. But at the same time, I don't need it that bad. I'm cool. I'd love to be able to do it, and we can actually see what happens if I'm healthy fighting. But I'm cool with if I don't. I just want to fight, man. I just want to fight people. I just want to get fights, keep getting better at this, be the best I can, be the best me.
When I was thinking about this interview, I was kind of thinking back at the first time we talked, and it was kind of strange because I remember speaking to you right after UFC 195 because we saw the promo for Dana White's Looking for a Fight when you called out CM Punk, and Carlos Condit was in the main event of that card, had that incredible fight with Robbie Lawler for the belt. It's pretty crazy, right? Like all this coming full circle, like you basically made your television debut at the UFC at the same event that Carlos Condit had that war with Robbie Lawler. Is it kind of crazy?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy, man. It's definitely crazy. It's a idols become rivals kind of thing. Carlos Condit, that's a dude me and all my boys looked up to. That was a guy who we were like, yo, look at this. We know he's a natural born killer. We know who he is. We know we know his game. We know what he does. We looked up to him, but this is the way the page gets turned. New natural born killer in town, baby.
When will you officially start an actual training camp for this fight? Like I'm sure I know you just got out of the gym. You're always in the gym, getting better, getting sharper, getting stronger. When will you kick off like an actual training camp for this fight?
I'm training now. I did a light 2-a-day today. I'm doing 3-a-days sometimes. But I'll probably start camp probably late October, somewhere in October. For real camp, running every day, all that shit.
I know you bounced around a bit for a few fights. You were trying to get some different looks. Your last fight, you stuck around Jersey. I know it was somewhat of a short notice booking to get on that Newark card. What's the game plan for training this time around? Are you planning on sticking around Jersey, or will you sort of hit the road a little bit, get back with Joe Schilling and Steve Edwards and those guys? What's the plan here?
I'm gonna be going back at the end of this month. I'm gonna go help Schilling get ready for his next fight. All while I'll be trying to get as much reps in as I can at the yard. Be working my Muay Thai. Go pop by, see my man Jason Manley. Get some good training in down there. Coach BZ, get some work. And then I also want to go to I want to get out to TriStar, go train with Faraz a little bit before this fight, and I also plan on going to Boston. Before these, some of my Boston buddies got fights coming up. I'm gonna go get some work with them beforehand. So I'm gonna do some training, but Jersey's my home. I'm happiest when I'm in Jersey. That's just where I want to be. But I also will travel and I'll have a good time with it, going other places, getting different looks, because I like that too. But Jersey my home.
Are you going to be in Boston for the fight card on October 18th?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'm a kind of fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy.
Well,
So there's definitely a good chance. Yeah.
let me know when you're in
Yeah.
town.
I'll be up in Salem. I'll be up in Salem.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, let me know when you're in
Yeah.
town. We'll have to actually meet face to face for the first time because
Hell yeah.
a couple hours
Sure.
away.
I'd
So.
love to.
In terms of
100%. Yeah.
in terms of Condit, man, I mean, he's had a tough go of it as of late. I mean, many feel he hasn't been the same since that crazy fight with Lawler at 195. That was one of my favorite fights of all time. He's lost 5 straight. Was finished in 4 of those fights, but he wants to keep going. He feels like he can compete with the very best that the sport has to offer still. What have you made of his recent run in the UFC, especially a guy that you used to watch as you were getting into the sport?
Yeah, I would say, you watched that Robbie Lawler fight, and that was a great fight. I thought he won that fight. I love Robbie, but even rewatching it, I truly thought he won that fight. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just think that there's ways for him to get beaten, and I think, yeah, he's getting older, but I'm training for the Robbie Lawler natural born killer, training for the prime guy who fought GSP, training for that guy. I can't really speak to why he's fallen off and lost a couple of his last few fights, but that legends never die, so I'm gonna be ready for him.
I know we're still 3 months away from this fight, but have you allowed yourself to think about what a win over Carlos Condit could do for your career? I mean, despite being on a losing streak, he's still a name. He's still a legend. He's still the natural born killer. He's still a guy that fans love to watch fight. He's a guy that the fans want to see him, turn things around and get back to his winning ways. What does a win over Carlos Condit do for you in your career?
It's huge. I mean, every fight's huge. It's great. It's cool. It's a former champ, former UFC interim champ, WEC champ, and yeah, he's a legend, and it's good. It helps, continues to legitimate myself, but it's big, but it's honestly in my mind, it's whoever I'm fighting is big. If I'm fighting Salim Tari, it's big, because I'm there, and I'm making the needle move too. But it's definitely bigger when it's a guy like Carlos. Like you said, former champ, got mad respect for him. I don't got too much respect for him. I'm gonna take him out.
I know we spoke like a couple days after you won the fight in Newark, and you seemed to me like you got this big jolt. You had a war. You had one of those like grinder of a fights that you haven't really had in your career. You had a ton of fun in there. Now that the time has gone by, you're back in the gym. You're doing your thing. Do you feel like you got a big jolt from that fight? Like you got a big boost of energy, so to speak, like being in a war like that and coming out on the other side, especially fighting in your backyard like that?
100%. Not only will I like never forget that, I'm still riding high from that. You know what I mean? Like hearing the crowd, getting done what we got done. I also, while I am proud of the fight, a lot of mistakes I made that everything that he did like well is like kind of what I gave to him. Like when I was on his back, not being patient enough and like trying to force positions and moves. But it's still fun because I'm feeling my growth. I'm feeling my comfort in there. And yeah, like I said, I'm just excited to do an even better job, and that's why great that it's Carlos Condit, cool. But I just want to fight. I just want to fight people in the UFC.
You got teammates fighting pretty soon, right? This weekend, maybe?
Yeah, I got the Corbalizer, Russ Corbel, and I got Brett Floyd going at Maverick MMA.
You're gonna be out there for
my
that?
My boy Turple is going too.
You'll be out there cornering, I would assume.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be at the Sherman Theater this weekend for sure. And my boy Vilson, who's a beast. I think he's gonna be he could be a champ for sure. Vilson Negroni. He's fighting for Ring of Combat on Friday.
Lots going on in that scene, and
AC.
We we're trying to work on some cool stuff ourselves, some cool features in the build-up for this fight to Washington, D.C. We'll talk more about that, but just want to kind of get your initial reaction to this because this is huge news, very exciting stuff. For now, anything else you want to get off your chest, Mickey? Any shout-outs, any sort of message for the fans, anything like that? The floor is yours, my man.
Nah, all good. Spread love, be loving, bring love, uplift people, bring them up, be nice. Nice talking with you, brother, and much love to you.
Absolutely, man. We'll talk soon for sure. And congrats.
I'm gonna go get some Chipotle.
Oh, get it done, man. Get it done. We'll talk soon.
See, I'm in the parking lot. I'm gonna go get some Chipotle. All right.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. Talk soon, Mike.